Assalamu alaikum. Surah 17, al-Isra, 44 to 111. In conclusion, I seek refuge in Allah from the devil, the accursed. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The seven heavens and the earth, and whatever is in them, exalt Allah. And there is not a thing except that it exalts Allah by His praise. But you do not understand their way of exalting. Indeed, He is ever forbearing and forgiving. And when you recite the Quran, we put between you and those who do not believe in the hereafter a concealed partition. And we have placed over their hearts coverings, least they understand it, and there is deafness. And when you mention your Lord alone in the Quran, they turn back in aversion. We are most knowing of how they listen to it when they listen to you, and of when they are in private conversation. When the wrongdoers say, "You follow not, but a man affected by magic," look how they strike for you comparisons.
The her over there on the corner of the blanket.
But they have strayed, so they cannot find the way. And they say, "When we are bones and crumbled particles, will we truly be resurrected as a new creation?" Say, "Be you stones or iron, or any creation of that which is great within your breast." And they say, "Who will restore us?" Say, "He who brought you forth the first time." Then they will nod their heads toward you and say, "When is that?" Say, "Perhaps it will be soon." On the day He will call you, and you will respond with praise of Him, and thank that you had not remained in the world except for a time. And tell my servants to say that which is best. Indeed, Satan induceth dissension among them. Indeed, Satan is ever to mankind a clear enemy. Your Lord is most knowing of you. If He wills, He will have mercy upon you, or if He wills, He will punish you. And we have not sent you, O Muhammad, over them as a manager, and your Lord is most knowing of whoever is in the heavens and the earth. And we have made some of the prophets exceed others in various ways. And to David we gave the book of Psalms, say, "Invoke those you have claimed as gods besides Him, for they do not possess the ability of removal of adversity from you or for its transfer to someone else. Those whom they invoke seek means of access to their Lord, striving as to which of them would be nearest, and they hope for His mercy and fear His punishment. Indeed, the punishment of your Lord is ever feared. And there is no city but that we will destroy it before the day of resurrection, or punish it with a severe punishment that has ever been in the register inscribed. And nothing has prevented us from sending signs, miracles, except that the former peoples denied them, and we gave Thamud the she-camel as a visible sign, but they wronged her, and we send not the signs except as a warning. And remember, O Muhammad, when we told you, indeed, your Lord has encompassed the people, and we did not make the sight which we showed you except as a trial for the people, as was the accursed tree mentioned in the Quran, and we threatened them, but it increases them not except in transgression. And mentioned when we said to the angels, prostrate to Adam, and they prostrated except for Iblis. He said, "Should I prostrate to one you created from clay?" Iblis said, "Do you see this one whom you have honored above me? If you delay me, my death, until the day of resurrection, I will surely destroy his descendants except for a few." Allah said, "Go, for whoever of them follows you, indeed hell will be the recompense for all of you, an ample recompense. And incite to senselessness whoever you can among them with your voice, and assault them with your horses and foot soldiers, and become a partner in their wealth and their children, and promise them, but Satan does not promise them except delusion. Indeed, Over my believing servants there is for you no authority, and sufficient is your Lord as disposer of affairs. It is your Lord who drives the ship for you through the sea, that you may seek of his bounty. Indeed, he is ever to you merciful. And when adversity touches you at sea, lost are all those you invoke except for him. But when he delivers you to the land, you turn away from him, and ever is man ungrateful. Then do you feel secure that instead we will not cause a part of the land to swallow you, or send against you a storm of stones? Then you would not find for yourself an advocate. Or do you feel secure that we will not send you back into it, the sea, another time, and send upon you a hurricane of wind, and drown you for what you devise? Then you would not find for yourself against us an avenger. And we have certainly honored the children of Adam, and carried them on the land and sea, and provided for them of the good things, and preferred them over much of what we have created with definite preference. Mention of Muhammad. The day we will call forth every people for their record of deeds. Then whoever is given his record in his right hand, those will read their records, and injustice will not be done to them even as much as a thread inside a date seed. And whoever is blind in this life will be blind in the hereafter, and more astray in way. And indeed, they were about to tempt you away from that which we revealed to you, in order to make you invent about us something else. And then they would have taken you as a friend. And if we had not strengthened you, you would have almost inclined to them a little. Then, if you had, we would have made you taste double punishment in life, and double after death. Then you would not find for yourself against us a helper. And indeed, they were about to drive you from the land, Mecca, to evict you therefrom. And then, when they do, they will not remain thereafter you, except for a little. That is our established way for those we have sent before you of our messengers, and we will not find, and you will not find, in our way any alteration. Establish prayer after decline of the sun from its meridian, until the darkness of the night. And also the Quran, recitation of dawn. Indeed, the recitation of dawn is as a witness. And from part of the night pray, with it recitation of the Quran as additional worship for you. It is expected that your Lord will resurrect you to a praise station, and say, My Lord, cause me to enter a sound entrance and to exit a sound exit, and grant me from yourself a supporting authority, and say, truth has come and falsehood has departed. Indeed, is falsehood by nature ever bound to depart. And we send down of the Quran that which is healing and mercy for the believers, but it does not increase the wrongdoer except in loss. And when we bestow favor upon man, the disbeliever, he turns away and distances himself, and when evil touches him, he is ever despairing. Say, each works according to his manner, but your Lord is most knowing of who is best guided in way. And they ask you, O Muhammad, about the soul. Say, the soul is of the affair concerning my Lord, and you, mankind, have not been given of knowledge except a little. And if we willed, we could surely do away with that which we revealed to you. Then you would not find for yourself concerning it an advocate against us, except we have left it with you as a mercy from your Lord. Indeed, his favor upon you has ever been great. Say, if mankind and jinn gathered in order to produce the like of this Quran, they could not produce the like of it, even if they were to each other assistance. And we have certainly diversified for the people in this Quran from every kind of example, but most of the people refused except disbelief. And they say, we will not believe you until you break open for us from the ground a spring, or until you have a garden of palm trees and grapes, and make rivers gush forth within them and forth in abundance. Or you make the heaven fall upon us in fragments as you have claimed, or you bring Allah and the angels before us. Or you have a house of ornament, gold, or you ascend into the sky. And even then we will not believe in your ascension until you bring down to us a book we may read. Say, exalted is my Lord. Was I ever but a human messenger? And what prevented the people from believing when guidance came to them, except that they said, has Allah sent a human messenger? Say, if there were upon the earth angels walking securely, we would have sent down to them from the heaven an angel as a messenger. Say, sufficient is Allah as witness between me and you. Indeed, He is ever of His servants aware and seeing. And whoever Allah guides, He is the rightly guided. And whoever He sends astray, you will never find for them protectors besides Him. And we will gather them on the day of resurrection, fallen on their faces, deaf, blind, dumb, and deaf. Their refuge is hell. Every time it subsides, we increase for them blazing fire. That is their recompense, because they disbelieved in our verses and said, when we are bones and crumbled particles, will we truly be resurrected in a new creation? Do they not see that Allah, who created the heavens and earth, is the one able to create the likes of them? And He has appointed for them a term, about which there is no doubt. But the wrongdoers refuse accept disbelief. Say to them, if you possessed the depositories of the mercy of my Lord, then you would withhold out of fear of spending, and ever has man been stingy. And we have certainly given Moses 9 evident signs. So ask the children of Israel about when he came to them. And Pharaoh said to him, indeed, I think, O Moses, that you are affected by magic. Moses said, you have already known that none has sent down these signs except the Lord of the heavens and the earth as evidence. And indeed, I think, O Pharaoh, that you are destroyed. So he intended to drive them from the land, but we drowned him and those with him all together. And we said after him, Pharaoh, to the children of Israel, dwell in the land, and when there comes the promise of the hereafter, we will bring you forth in one gathering. And with the truth we have sent it, the Quran, down. And with the truth it has descended. And we have not sent you, O Muhammad, except as a bringer of good tidings and a warner. And it is a Quran which we have separated by intervals, that you might recite it to the people over a prolonged period. And we have sent it down progressively. Say, believe in it or do not believe. Indeed, those who were given knowledge before it, when it is recited to them, they fall upon their faces in prostration, and they say, exalted is our Lord, indeed the promise of our Lord has been fulfilled. And they fall upon their faces weeping, and it, the Quran, increases them in humble submission. Call upon Allah, or call upon the most merciful, Ar-Rahman. Whichever name you call, to him belongs the best names. And do not recite too loudly in your prayer, or too quietly, but speak between that and intermediate way, and say, praise to Allah, who has not taken a son, and has had no partners in his dominion, and has no need of a protector out of weakness, and glorify him with great glorification. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammad Rasulullah. Muhammad Rasulullah.